We are going to take a look at how to find the rest of the zeros once you have your rational zeros listed. For our examples, especially for those easier examples, let me write down this one problem that we started with on a previous one. We have f of x is 15x cubed plus 47x squared plus 5x minus 3. Now, you know, we had found that the zeros, the rational zeros, were -3, 1/5, and -1/3. Now, I had told you these, and hopefully you were able to find them, but how can we find the rest of the zeros? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to use synthetic division. And so I'm going to use this one here with synthetic division. That's what I'm going to divide by because that's my factor if we bring that in. So if I put in my coefficients, I'll have 15, 47, 5, and -3. I'm going to draw a line here. Now, there are definitely different ways to set these up, but I'm going to set it up this way because I like it. That's how I learned it, and I'll just do it. You drop this first term, you have -3 times 15 gives you -45. That gives you 2. -3 times 2 is -6. Add that to 5 gives you -1. -3 times -1 is 3. You get 0. Because of this 0 remainder, that means that this is a factor. And anytime you have a 0 that you can get off your calculator easily like this, it's really nice to set this up like this. Since we started with a x cubed, then what we have with these coefficients is you go down 1. This would be 15x squared plus 2x minus 1. Now, since these other two are actually rational too, I know that I can factor this. So let's say you didn't have this. Well, we could take this and we'll factor it. If I put a 5x here and a 3x there, and I know the multiples of 1 go there. I just need one positive and one negative. So I need to figure out how it works. And so how it's going to work is I'm going to put the plus here because that means I'm going to have outside 5x. And then this would be a minus, and that's my inside, which is -3x. Now together, this is my positive 2x. So I do know that these are my two factors. And then I would just set it up. 5x minus 1 is 0, is equal to 0. Bring the -1 over, and I get 1. And then I have x is 1/5. You can do the same thing for 3x plus 1 as well. You have 3x plus 1 is equal to 0. 3x is equal to -1. X is -1/3. Okay, so this is one of those easier ones that you can actually factor once you break it down. Now, let me give you one that we can't do that with. This is, and you may remember this one, I'm not sure, but this is h of x is x to the 4th minus 2x cubed minus 60x squared minus 139x minus 70. Now, the zeros that we found, or maybe now if you're putting them in your calculator, the zeros that you're going to find here from your calculator are two integers, -2 and -5. You can see them on your table if you wanted to take a look at that one. So the way that I break this down is I need to do, if I have x to the 4th, I need to break it down twice. So to break it down twice, I'm going to just start with either. I'll just pick -2. I'm going to put in my coefficients. I do the synthetic division. I get negative 2, so that's going to be negative 4. Now I'm going to get negative 2 times negative 4, which will be 8. That's going to give me negative 52. Negative 2 times negative 52 is going to be 104. Add that, and I get negative 35. Negative 2 times negative 35 is 70. So that's going to be 0. Okay, we should expect that. That's the way it is. Now, I'm going to take these new coefficients. We're now at x cubed, and I'm going to do this one that's broken down by 1. I'm going to do negative 5. You don't want to go back to the original. You just want to do it like this. So drop the 1, and I get negative 5. I get negative 9. Negative 5 times negative 9 is positive 45. Add that to negative 52, I get negative 7. Now I'm going to get positive 35. That's a factor of 2. Now, since I've done it twice, I'm now at x squared minus 9x minus 7. Now, to find these last two, we can't factor this, unfortunately, so we have to use the quadratic theorem. Now, some people do prefer completing the square. I personally don't, but I'm just going to use the quadratic theorem. So I'm going to have negative of negative 9 plus or minus negative 9 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 7. All over 2 times 1. So what this ends up being is we're going to have 9 plus or minus the square root, and when all is said and done, you get 81 plus 28, which is 109, all over 2. There's no way to reduce this or anything. These are our last two answers. So I have a degree 4. I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 answers. So hopefully this helps. This is breaking down the polynomials with the rational zeros first, using synthetic division, and then either using quadratic formula or completing the square to finish it out to find your last ones. Thanks.